Hey there YouTube, I have some more Shogun 2 multiplayer action for you guys. So, this is a battle replay of one of the matches I had with King of Tiara. I have two battle replays to bring you, both are against King of Tiara, and it's on the new map Kanto Plains. They're also both classical matchups, so I hope you guys will enjoy. And we had a best 2 out of 3, and I'm going to show the last two. The first matchup was more of a warm-up. I really didn't have the best of micro, and it really wasn't as eventful as these last two, so I figured I'd show you guys these. Anyway, we will take a look at my army here first as we begin. I am in command of the Shimazu, and King of Tiara is in command of the Choso Kabe. Alright, so in front of my lines I have two sets of Bow Warrior Monks. They have 3 chevrons apiece. Then I have 4 sets of Yari Ashigaru. 2 are directly behind my bows, and 2 are in the back, and they have 4 chevrons apiece. I have 5 sets of Shimazu Katana Samurai, and because they are Shimazu, they are naturally better in terms of Katana Samurai. So my infantry component is quite deadly, and they have 2 chevrons apiece as well, so they are a very deadly force. Then I brought the generic general, and this is just a personal preference of mine. Really, I prefer the generic general just because it costs much less than a historical general, and you can field a lot more units this way. So I definitely am preferring the generic general at this time, but I don't know, I could be turned because really there's advantages to both. Alright, then I have 2 sets of Yari cavalry out on the right over here. This is one of my failed ambushes. I actually have 2. I actually have this Yari cavalry unhidden, and I found this out, so I'm just going to take them out of hiding here in a couple moments, so no big deal there. I have another one out here, so I have 3 sets of Yari cav with 3 chevrons apiece. Then I have 2 units out on this flank. It's a Matchlock Samurai and a 2 chevron Yari Ashigaru. And really, since the patch, matchlocks will do a lot more friendly fire to you, so you really need to use them in a much different manner. I've seen a lot of people just shooting from behind their lines since the new patch, and I have a lot of battle replays that will show you this, and it's not a good tactic anymore. You can't do it because you will actually cause a mass rout on your own men. You'll kill a lot more of your own men, and you just can't use them anymore like that. So I have my matchlock out on the flank, which is really where they should have been used to begin with because they are more efficient on the flanks, but I guess the ease of just putting them behind your lines was much easier, so that really doesn't make sense. The ease of keeping them behind your lines made things much more simple for you to control, so yeah, so that's basically why people did it. But now, from now on, you pretty much have to use matchlock on the flanks, otherwise you're just going to cause yourself a defeat. Okay, so let's take a look at King of Tiara's army. He has 2 sets of Matchlock Samurai, 2 sets of Yari Ashigaru directly behind them, and he is using the same tactic as me, keeping them on the flank, using them as a flanking force. He has 2 sets of Katana Cavalry, 2 sets of Great Guard, 3 sets of Choso Kabe Bow Ashigaru, and because they are Choso Kabe, they are naturally better with bows. Then 2 sets of Yari Ashigaru with 5 chevrons apiece, 2 sets of Nodachi, and let's see, 3 sets of Katana Samurai with a chevron apiece. And then he brought the historical general Choso Kabe Motochika, which is a very, I don't know, iffy decision. I wouldn't do it, but I'm not going to question anyone else's playstyle. Generic generals allow you to field more units, but I guess you get the improved morale with the historical general. So it's really based on your army setup, I suppose. So I can understand it. Alright, so that is his army. And essentially what I have done so far is I have actually launched an attack on his Katana Samurai. I was able to get around his flank and hit this Katana Samurai over here with a Yari Cavalry. That one, actually. So I lost 20 Yari Cavalry at the price of 30 of his Katana Samurai. I definitely think that's a fair trade, because the infantry force of King of Tiara is definitely a major threat to me. And that is really the major threat. Other than that, it's mostly the cavalry. Matchlock could also be a bit of a threat, considering he has him on the flank and whatnot. He does match me in all senses. He does have more matchlocks than me. He matchlocks me. And I need to be more careful than I normally would with matchlocks, because really they will cause more friendly fire, but you kind of still need to be careful, because if you can't get them to shoot behind your opponent's lines, then they are still just as deadly as before. They haven't been nerfed, really, so you need to be more careful with them. Okay, so the bullfight has begun, and I'm just tearing up his Bow Ashigaru. There's really nothing that he can do to stop me from doing this. Although Choso Kabe are superior in bowmen, you don't really want to ever bring Bow Ashigaru to a large fun fight, because they really won't be effective. I really can't even think of any instance where a bow Ashigaru would be nice to have in a large funds fight. Lower funds are fine, but at this funds, I wouldn't suggest it at all. But I'm going to start shooting up his matchlock with some fire arrows and cause as much damage as possible. And these guys already dropped down to 66, so I'm shooting up a lot of them. Alright, so he's moving his matchlock up. I really don't want them to get any shots on me, so I'm going to run back here. And I just want to make sure that he can't get any clear shots on me at least. He doesn't really have the best angle from right here anyway. And in order to stop him from firing, I'm just going to run away my I'm going to run my Yari Cav at his matchlock, so that should stop that attempt. And over here, King of Tiara hit his Great Guard. All I have to do to flush these guys out is just move some matchlock, kind of get them unhidden with my Yari cavalry, and that's really all you need to do to beat that kind of hiding cavalry force. So he's going to run away. Unfortunately, I was just out of range, as you can see. So I'm going to try to catch him, but there's just really no way. I do notice a very big opening here with his swords, and I'm going to turn my matchlock right around here to shoot his swords right there. So that was definitely a good move, and I don't really think he expected this. I think he thought I was just going to go for his cavalry, but I'm going to now shoot on his flank. Okay, so there's a little period of waiting here, but we'll just fast forward through that because I do have 2 replays, so I'm going to try to shorten this up a bit. Over here, I'm going to try to get his general with my Yari cavalry. Unfortunately, I'm really unable to get them. I'm going to go for his swords. He's going to try to intercept with cavalry and spears, so I'm just going to get out of there. So he can't really do too much to stop me from doing this. And over here, he's going to get in range barely, so I'm going to open fire. Look at that. His cavalry are going to get mowed down. There goes a lot of Great Guard, and really the price of Great Guard has increased as well, so they're even more valuable. You really don't want to lose that many just from a simple little burst of matchlock. I also turned on Rapid Volley just in a hope to get some extra kills, which I probably did, but I'm not positive. Anyway, I'm gonna make him run his matchlock back, and I'm going to now lure his Great Guard. So this is just a little bit of an even better perk. And look at that, I'm just going to open fire on his Great Guard again, and he's going to lose a ton more Great Guard. So here are the bodies of all of his Great Guard that have been shot down by my Matchlock Samurai. And once again, he's going to move his Matchlock back over here, and I'm just going to charge at them with my Yari Cavalry. This time, though, he is going to stay here, and he's going to get some very nice kills right off the bat on my Yari Cavalry. But really, once the charge is going, you never want to stop it, and I'm going to hit right into his matchlock. I'm going to do quite a bit of damage, actually, and my Yari Cav really don't rout that quickly. As you can see, the morale actually steadied right there for a second, and then he's going to charge in all his Great Guard to try to make them rout quickly. Alright, so I have this Yari Cav. He's just going to chase back his bows. I really have no interest in really killing them because his bows are just bow Ashigaru and they're not going to be dreadfully effective at all. So I'm just going to kind of run around them. I'm not too concerned about it, and I'm just going to kind of outflank him wherever I can. Here he has another opening on swords and matchlock. I'm going to try to get in there, but I also want to get out of there immediately because he's trying to reinforce his spears and whatnot. So you just kind of need to be careful with what they have in the vicinity. So I moved this Yari Cav way out here, hoping that he would forget about it because I'm testing his micro pretty much everywhere else. Okay, so in this confusion, he actually left this gap here, which was very crucial in this game. So I'll let you watch this one. This is a really, really vicious charge that's going to cause a lot of casualties. As you can see, he has not seen this in time, and I'm just going to get a vicious rear charge. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to send a lot of guys flying off that one, and it was directly in the back of an Odachi. I'm going to hit right into his bows, too, and he's charged his Katana Cavalry in there to try to kill my men. But really, I'm just absolutely crushing these guys. I already have 90 kills right off just that charge. So, I mean, that was definitely worth it, in my opinion. Looks like I'm going to get over 100 there. So, there's also the fact that I have caused so much confusion in his lines. It's pretty insane. As you can see, he is blobbing his whole force up. I'm going to run forward another Yari Cavalry, so I'm just sending in a Yari Cav by a Yari Cav by a Yari Cav, because really, I have the Yari Cav to spare, so I'm just going to get another vicious attack right over here, I think. Well, actually, I did make a micro mistake here, and I stopped my cavalry, so they're going to get shot up, but then I find out quickly. I did lose a lot more Yari Cav than I really wanted to, but I'm going to disrupt his matchlock, and this is going to be another crucial thing, because really, if his matchlock had started firing on my men while they were charging in, even though I depleted a lot of his units, he still could have easily pulled out a victory here. Another thing is, now he has really nothing to oppose my matchlock on his flank, and I'm just going to get some vicious fire on them. I actually really don't have the best of positioning here. As you can see, my men still need to reload as well, so I'm going to move up again, because I'm not really in the best of range. I'm going to run forward here, and we'll take a look out on this flank. He has moved all of his cavalry, and I mean all of it, out on his left, opposite being my right. And I have moved a Yari Ashigaru there to keep his cavalry at bay. I'm just kind of keeping him away. I really can't afford to have any hammer and anvils on me. I'm going to get some nice flanking shots on his spears. I don't have the best angle because there's a little hill, but these guys on the flanks can easily get some nice hits. He's starting to shoot at me with some bows, but it's really not going to be enough to matter. I'm sending this Katana Samurai around to outflank. And I'm charging in more Katana Samurai in to support my Yari Ashigaru, who will probably lose straight up just because they got in Spear Wall. So there's some crazy fighting going on all over the place, and now is his first motion with his cavalry. He's going to move all his cavalry directly behind me, and I'm going to continuously reform to try to stop him from doing this. As you can see, I'm reforming as much as possible. My bows are going to get crushed here, and I really didn't care about them, so I'm kind of happy he's going for them. Because really, they were the least of my concerns, to be honest. I couldn't afford a hammer and anvil on my men, and that's what I was luckily able to stop. Here he's going to charge all of this Great Guard right into my spears. I think he just had a micro-lapse there. And over here, this is some point-blank shooting. I'm probably killing a couple of my own Katana Samurai, but I'm actually shooting at that general over there, so it's definitely doing quite a lot of damage there. The main part of this fight, though, is definitely with the cavalry. The cavalry, in fact, almost routs one of my Yari Ashigaru, and they haven't really even lost that much. They're 113, so that was a bit too close for comfort. But really, the main part of this is, in order to win, I had to keep his cavalry off of me until his army routed. Otherwise, if they got a hammer and anvil, my men would have routed quite quickly. So that was the main thing with this matchup, and I really needed to stop them from getting a good hit on me. And I'm doing my best, obviously, as you can see, so I'm just going to try, basically, through my best effort to keep his cavalry away. He is going to get a hit over here, but luckily it was on spears and not something more vital than that. I also have my matchlock here. I don't actually know if they rout or whatnot. I didn't use them the rest of this fight, so they might have. I really don't know. Again, I'm just keeping his cavalry away with my spears. And as you can see, I'm now starting to fold in on the rest of his force. Still very dangerous, though. I can't allow any cavalry strikes on me, or I'm in deep trouble here. Now, I see that he's probably going to go for my general, so I'm going to run him as quickly as possible closer to my lines, so he's more safe. And as you can see, his army is now mass routed, and this is the end of the matchup. So very good game to King of Tiara here. And this one was extremely close. If he got any cavalry in there just a second sooner, I would have been dead. So very good game, very, very good game to King of Tiara. And I have one more matchup for you guys, so I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys on the next replay. Alright guys, here is the next replay, as promised, with King of Tiara, and it is once again on Kanto Plains. So, this game, I do believe we have turned key buildings off. I believe we have switched factions, and it's definitely going to be much different than the first matchup. So, we will take a look at my army first here as we finish loading up. Alright, so, as you can see, there are no longer any key buildings. Well, the buildings are here, but they're no longer giving any bonuses. And the factions have changed. So, I'm playing as the Uesigi, and King of Tiara is playing as the Takeda. Alright, we'll take a look at my army here first. I have two sets of Uesigi Bow Warrior Monks up front. I decided not to give any chevrons to these guys because they are Uesigi, so they are superior. And they should prove to be just fine in a bow fight. Alright, then I have, let's see, 3 sets of spears, it looks like, or 4 sets of spears. 2 of them are Yari Ashigaru, and they are unveteran. Then I have 2 sets of Uesigi Warrior Monks with 2 chevrons apiece. Then I brought 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of Katana Samurai with 2 chevrons apiece. I brought a Matchlock Ashigaru. And then finally, the generic general. Once again, as I said, I really don't prefer the historical general because I can field more units this way. I also have some cavalry. I have a Yari cavalry out over here, 2 chevrons. Then 2 more out over here. They have 2 chevrons as well. And these guys' main purpose in the beginning was for scouting. And they indeed did their job, and they found 5 sets of hidden cavalry. So I figured that as the Takeda, he would bring cavalry. This army just did not look full, so that was their main goal. And I have 2 more units. I have 2 sets of katana cavalry with 3 chevrons apiece. And really, this is basically from past experience. As you guys saw, King of Tiara gave me some openings for attacks on his swords, so I brought katana cavalry. Unfortunately, he changed up his strategy quite a lot, and really with this army setup, I was very unprepared, but let's take a look at his army. He has a lot of Yari Ashigaru, so let's count this. 1, 2, let's see, 3, 4, 5 sets of Yari Ashigaru with 2 chevrons apiece, 2 sets of Naginata Samurai, 1 on each flank, and then he has 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of Bow Ashigaru. Some of them are veteran. He has the historical general Takeda Shinjin, and then 2 sets of fire cavalry on that flank, and 2 sets, or rather 3 sets on this flank. So he brought a lot of fire cavalry. So he left a huge opening in the beginning for a charge on his bows, as you guys saw, and I just ran straight down the line, slaughtering as many Bow Ashigaru as I possibly could. Now look at this disruption. This is disruption at its fullest. And really, this was a vital part of the matchup. I mean, I've caused so much disruption. His men are all blobbed up, and this is when I'm going to start rushing. Now, unfortunately, my bows are not going to be used very well in this fight because I need to rush. I needed to take advantage of the opening. So that was a lot of money that I just can't use properly. I really just need to rush while he's out of formation. He has a lot of bows, and my bows probably wouldn't win in that fight just because of the large numbers that would be opposing them. And he's going to try to hit my Yari cavalry here. He's going to succeed a little bit. He's only going to get a couple of them, 2. So, no big deal there. He's going to start shooting at my Yari Ashigaru, which I thought was an interesting choice because he should really be focusing on something more vital, like my bow monks or maybe even my my katana samurai, because they're right out front. The katana samurai are right out front, and there's a reason for this. I only brought 2 spears this match, so I needed them in back. I couldn't use a spear wall tactic up front anymore because I needed to charge. Plus, I felt more confident having my katana samurai straight out front, doing massive damage straight off the bat. And I have my, what are they called, warrior monks right behind. I had my matchlock actually turned backwards the whole time, so that probably tricked him quite a bit. And I have them in guard formation, so they did do quite a lot of damage just through some volleys, so they did a very nice job there. I actually shot up quite a lot of his cavalry, but not enough, unfortunately. And he's going to try to stop me once again. So I got 1 sword in the back over here fighting off some Yari Ashigaru, and then over here I have the main force fighting over here. I activated War Cry on this flank. This flank I have not yet because I have my monks over here. I once again have my matchlock firing in on his cavalry. Or rather, this one little running horse. I honestly don't know what they were doing there. Anyway, unfortunately here I have to use my warrior monks to stop this cavalry charge. It's not recommended because really their bonus versus cavalry is only 10, but I needed to in this case. Or yeah, 10. I was right. I did activate Warcry here, so I'm going to hit his Yari Ashigaru back here as well as his cavalry, so that probably did quite a number on their morale. I have my general in stand and fight. I'm trying to fight back all of these guys, and here's where I launch a huge katana cavalry strike. Now, there is one thing that I did not understand this whole battle, and I was just really annoyed by the end of this, how this guy over here, this guy right here, this was a real problem for me. This guy's just going insane. He's cutting up so many of my men. Look at this. His general, this is crazy. His general can't die. Look at this, though. I mean, honestly, I am now bringing in katana cavalry. His general is completely surrounded, and really, I know they have Bow Ashigaru to help protect, but I do not think that he's exactly relevant. Now, I want you to just take a look. He's down to 5 right now, and he's about to rout. I don't really understand how he's not routing yet, but that's just me. And now his morale goes back up. and that again confused me. But I have Katana Cavalry into him, so he really should die. I don't really understand how his general's unit is not dying quickly. He's killing a crap ton of my own guys at this point. Really not much, but he's holding out for way longer than he should be. He should really be routing by this point. He's still at 5. He's still at 5. His general's refusing to die. I'm charging in Katana Samurai now to help kill him. His general's now at 3, and again, his morale evens out. And it actually goes back to green for a second. Now that is just crazy. General's down to 2. Still morale is actually very good. And it just boggled my mind this whole game. His general's getting hit by Katana Samurai by Katana Cavalry, and really if his general routed here, this battle would have turned out very differently. I'm not using that unit back there because I knew it was over at this point. But, I mean, look at this. His general's at 1 unit, still not dying, still not dying. Katana Cavalry is into them. It doesn't make sense to me, and his general does not die this whole matchup. He lives with being the last man alive, and his morale was amazing the whole time. I mean, I don't really understand how that worked out, but good game to King of Tiara. That was probably a general's glitch. I have seen general's glitches before, to where your general's like unkillable or whatnot. But yeah, it was pretty insane that he actually just didn't even rout. It was pretty crazy. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 battle replays, and I will be back with some more of Shogun 2 in the near future. See ya.